Good morning, everybody, and welcome to historic Grand Central Terminal and the famous Biltmore Room. I'm Long Island Railroad Interim President Catherine Rinaldi. I'm also the President of Metro North Railroad, and I'm joined here this morning by C&D President Jamie Torres Springer and Chief Accessibility Officer for the MTA, Camilo Arroyo. We've been spending a lot of time in the terminal and GCM recently, and for good reason. We have been working very hard to get this historic station, the crown jewel of the entire MTA system, ready to house both railroads. And now the Grand Central Madison is opening. It served 100 million, wouldn't that be nice? 1 million passengers and counting. This new service has helped propel Long Island Railroad to new ridership highs. We are regularly carrying more than 200,000 people a day. I think it's been 25 times so far. Friday, we actually broke 200,000 riders, only the second time that's happened since COVID. So great to see people riding more and more. Everything that we do here comes back to our riders and how we can provide more convenience to get them where they want to go. And today in the Biltmore Room is an important milestone in this project. We are celebrating the latest connection between the historic terminal and GCM right through the historic Biltmore Room. The Biltmore Room is so named because back in the day, the Biltmore Hotel actually was located over this location. And for many years, the Biltmore Room was actually known as the Kissing Room because in the days of the old New York Central Railroad, this is where people used to bid goodbye and hello to people coming and going through Grand Central Terminal, including soldiers coming back from the war. More recently, and Metro North commuters could tell you this was a room that was really basically a pass-through between those stairs and the tracks. There was a big Hudson News in the middle, the florist was over there, and it really didn't exist as a space the way that you see it here today. We have reclaimed this beautiful space for the use of Metro North customers, but also Long Island Railroad customers, people passing back and forth between the two systems, creating a connection that's just going to revolutionize the way that our customers use the service. It provides additional flexibility and access for our ADA customers because we have a new elevator. It will save customers of both railroads time as they navigate between the two systems. Long Island Railroad customers who are enjoying the beautiful space downstairs can now enjoy the historic architecture of the new terminal. And it will divert foot traffic away from the entrance downstairs in the dining concourse, which is a little tucked away and a little bit confusing for our customers to find. Based on a 2020 PED flow analysis, it's estimated that approximately 22% of our customers will actually use this entrance, which is great to see. It also heightens safety for both Long Island Railroad and Metro North because it provides a vital connection between the Joint Incident Command Post and GCM, which will increase operational awareness and decrease response times. I want to thank everybody who got us to this point today. I want to thank our partners at C&D. I also want to thank people who preceded me in this position. Howard Permit fought for years to get this thing built and funded. So I want to give a shout out to Howard, whose vision kind of got us where we are today. I also want to thank Joe Giletti and Pat Nowakowski because they were actually the people who worked on getting a Long Island Railroad contribution towards this, recognizing the value that it would have for both customers of both railroads. I also want to thank the folks at both Metro North, Long Island Railroad, and again C&D, who worked so hard in terms of restoring this beautiful space and the connection between the railroads. We are thrilled to be here today, and without any further ado, I want to introduce my colleague, Jamie Torres Springer.
Kathy, thank you. Thank you for your leadership and that of your colleagues. Kathy really said most of what needs to be said here today. Grand Central Madison is already a tremendous success. Riders are coming in record numbers across both railroads. This terminal is now busier than almost every other terminal in North America just on its own. And as this new entrance shows, we're still working on it. We're not done yet making the improvements to make this remarkable space connect more New Yorkers more directly to their destinations here in Midtown East and beyond. This is just the start with the Biltmore Room, which further integrates the Long Island Railroad and the Madison Concourse and historic Grand Central, which makes the transfer, as Kathy said, for probably 22% of riders much easier. And there are 8 entrances to the street that we've built as part of Grand Central Madison, running all the way from the dining concourse to 48th Street in the north. And we have 2 additional entrances that will be provided in the future as the development of East Midtown continues, which makes it a truly porous terminal that serves this integral part of the city above it. We're very pleased about the quality of these escalators and elevator and the refurbishment of the Biltmore room that has taken place that you can see all around us. It truly looks like a historic portion of this terminal, and I'm so glad we were able to accommodate this as part of Grand Central Madison. I want to extend my thanks as well to everyone that worked on this, including our project executive, Rob Troop, and his team, our contractor, GCTC, and the various support contractors and consultants that helped to get this done. So thank you very much for joining us for this historic day. With that, I want to introduce my colleague, Quimel Arroyo, our Chief Accessibility Officer.
Thank you so much for that, Jamie. Good morning. I am so thrilled to be here today with these amazing colleagues of mine who continue to push the MTA for a more enhanced accessibility, for a more universal MTA that services all of our riders and their needs. Thank you, Kathy, and your team for continuing this charge with me, and Jamie for making it happen, to making it a reality. This is a great day for everyone here today. You know, accessibility has so many different definitions, and these escalators are also a huge enhancement for universal access. Kathy, you mentioned that 20% of customers who will benefit from this transfer, but in particular, customers with disabilities, customers with luggage, parents with baby strollers, and our seniors who need those additional entrances will benefit the most from these enhancements that we're talking about today. I love what you said, Jamie, about all these new things that we continue to unveil, because we won't be done here. We'll see more entrances down to Grand Central Madison, and that is something for all of our customers to be reminded of. This is an agile process, and you will continue to see enhancements as we make these an even better stations with more transfers for all of our customers. I am so proud to be part of this team, creating greater access throughout the state of New York. This is a great day for the MTA, for the Metro North Long Island Railroad, but really this is emblematic of what you're seeing throughout the MTA. Paratransit is reaching record high numbers. New York City Transit is seeing more customers coming in throughout our systems, because we're continuing to create not only a transit system that serves the needs for today, but we're building the needs for tomorrow. We're building that attraction to have more people come back to transit. This is the best way to get around New York City, and definitely the most entertaining way to travel around our boroughs. I want to take a second and say a couple of words in Spanish para nuestros televidentes latinos. Estamos aquí celebrando esta nueva apertura de esta conexión entre Grand Central y Grand Central Madison, estas nuevas escaleras eléctricas y el nuevo ascensor que llevan a nuestros pasajeros desde Grand Central abajo a Grand Central Madison. Una nueva conexión para disminuir ese camino que tenían que caminar, ese recorrido, y hacerlo más directo para que todos los usuarios que quieran ir a Grand Central Madison tengan esta habilidad. Estamos muy contentos de poder darle este acceso, y no se termina aquí. Seguiremos haciendo nuevas entradas a Grand Central Madison y muchas más conexiones. Así que para mí es un placer estar aquí con todos ustedes. Muchas gracias.
Yes, hi Kathy. I've got a couple if you don't mind.
How are you?
After Grand Central Madison opened earlier this year, I know there's a lot of talk of a lot of punch list items that need to be finished before the project was officially deemed complete. I know this was a big one. Where are things now? How close are we for East Side Access being completely, truly finished?
Well, as we said, the station is operating well and very well used. As you said, with any major project, especially a project of this scale, there is a punch list. There's remaining work to do. We've declared substantial completion on one of the remaining major contracts. There are two other contractors that are continuing to work. As you said, this is a big piece of finishing up, and over the next few months, we'll get the rest of the work done and close out.
Are there noticeable improvements, changes that are on the way?
We really are in punch list territory now. So with the Biltmore open, we're talking mostly about things that people won't notice or see. Other than the Biltmore opening, we're pretty much in the territory of just finishing up and closing out.
And any examples of what even that small work is that people won't see?
You can see it when you're walking around downstairs. I mean, there's certainly still more work going on wayfinding. I mean, we acknowledge that we need to continue to work on that as people are using the terminal. Most of the rest of it, you're talking about testing and commissioning of systems, in particular the systems that will enable us to populate all the retail in the terminal, which is waiting on that, but also waiting on just proving out the terminal and how many people are using it and what their needs and their desires are. So that's some of the major things, but really it's not visible stuff to come.
Then a service-related question, I guess, for Kathy. So I know you've been looking to make a lot of improvements to address some of the concerns raised by riders, and you've talked that, I guess, bigger changes will be on the way later this year with different schedules. One area in particular that I was interested in asking you about is evening service, particularly with so much going on in Madison Square Garden recently, the Rangers, the Knicks, so much going on. There are a lot of folks I've heard from who are sort of puzzled how there would be less service out of Penn Station at nights, and trains leaving out of here, I'm told, largely empty. I've heard from folks going to Broadway have same concerns. So what do you say to these people who are really rely on the railroad in the evenings, and what, if any, changes might be on the way?
So the first thing I want to do, just because I want to put in a shameless plug for GCM service for people who go to Broadway shows, because I do think people have it in their head, the theaters are on the west side, Penn's on the west side, my only option is to go to Penn, which, as you know, is really just not true, right? I mean, it's pretty easy to get to GCM if you're coming from a Broadway show. In some cases, it actually might be quicker to go to GCM. So I do certainly want to put in a plug for GCM as an option for folks who are traveling home from Broadway shows. It does give you that much more flexibility and choice. For people who are going to events in the Garden, that's not the case, right? I mean, you're in the Garden, you want to go downstairs to go to Penn. It's one of the things that we're looking at in conjunction with a lot of other feedback that we've gotten from the new service plan to see how we can, continually step up our game with respect to the service we're providing our customers. But yeah, no, we've absolutely heard that and are looking at that.
Sorry, one quick follow-up. As far as the Broadway thing, any plans on messaging, some kind of campaign or something to let people know that it's a pretty straight shot from Grand Central Madison to Broadway?
I think that's a really good. I mean, I say it, and thank you for the question, so I can say it again because I've said it on a number of occasions. But yeah, no, I think that's a great idea because it's pretty easy to get here from Broadway shows, and some of the theaters are actually pretty far uptown. So, I think a messaging campaign on that topic makes a lot of sense.
Like the transition to Grand Central Madison. What are we showing? You can.
Julia, recorded things. You guys that? The elevator? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sorry, wrong number. You know it.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah. It's very Hey, are we still on? Yes, are we still on? Are we, oh, yes, I'm here. You want me to follow the concourse now or them on the elevator? Hey, Julian. Yes. Yes, you hear me? Okay. I don't know. You see where I'm at?